welcome back to Trust in the Chaos. Therese Hart's thine friendly host, vlogger, girl who spews her thoughts everywhere. So I know it's a Saturday, and I usually post on Mondays. But I was in the shower, as you can tell, where some of my best thinking occurs, and probably some of your best thinking occurs, um, looking at my nails, which I just got done. Um, Gold and black is a weird combo. I completely understand. I'm a volleyball coach, and we have our first game on Tuesday. And the other coach also did her nails like this, so it's kind of a pact of seniority and school spirit and whatever. The reason why is not the nails, the volleyball. But I'm also going to a wedding next Friday. And I was sitting there thinking, my nails are black and gold. This kind of looks ridiculous. What the heck am I supposed to wear that won't look stupid against my nails? Because I do nails because they make me feel pretty. It's just one of those weird self-help, self-love things. And I was like, well, I can wear a black dress. And I'm like, black to a wedding? I don't know. But the more I thought about it, the more I kind of think that wearing a black dress and gold accessories to this wedding might be more fitting. And here's why. Today I'm going to talk about the loss of friendship. Wedding, loss of friendship, you're still friends, you're going to a wedding. It's complicated. So anyone who's out there has ever lost a friend before. And the way I'm talking about losing friends is not through death. If that's ever happened to you, I'm truly sorry. And I will never understand unless I'm there. And I've been fortunate enough to never have that happen to me. I'm talking about the loss of friendship in a few different ways. Whether it's you're growing apart, whether there's giant blow up, where that person is in your life the way they used to be. So let me tell the story. Everyone remembers their childhood best friend. The girl who lived like doors down, you did everything together. You may or may not have cut each other's hair or written all over the walls in lipstick or run naked around a construction site. Oops, nope, that was just me. Okay, it's fine. My childhood best friend and I were very close. I was very girly. She's a tomboy. I know by watching these videos, you usually see me with no makeup and hair and hat and whatever. But that's because, honestly, talking about these issues is really nasty and dirty, and you need to get down to the surface of them. So I don't hide with all the girly crap I usually hide behind. If you want to see the pretty girly photos, go on my Instagram at Trust in the Chaos. We grew up together. And we did everything together. Baths. Her mom was essentially my mom. And then when I was 8, I moved away. We lived about 10 minutes from each other originally. Our moms became friends through our brothers. But this friend and I became super close, just ourselves. And we kind of became the glue between the two families, so to speak, more than my mom and her friend, which are still very close. I moved away when I was 8. She was 7. She's a year younger than I am. And we kept very much in touch pretty much all throughout high school. I was the first person to buy her a real bra. Not her mom, me. Like I said, she's a big tomboy. She ended up playing college level tennis and is very good. But she lived in sports bras. And I'm like, girl, there are occasions where you need a real person bra. So it was always that type of friendship, and she was always there. Now, the other thing about this friend is that she was one I could always go to, not only for advice or just general life chaos, but faith. This friend, like I mentioned, became brought together because our moms both worked recess duty for our older brothers at a Catholic school. Her mom thought my mom was originally a jerk. My mom thought the same thing about her mom. They eventually became best friends. But it was always this really strong Catholic glue. We'd always talk. Faith, we had dinner a lot together, both families as kids. Pray rosaries a lot together, go to mass together. All of these celebrations. She is one of 8 kids. Very big Irish Catholic family. And I loved having that person to explore that part of my spirituality with. And it was really great. Things changed when I went to college, specifically. In college, and I'll do 7,000 other videos about this, I was grieving the loss of a relationship romantically that really messed me up for a long time. And I was very depressed and very hidden about it, very cagey. Um, and I was not the most open about it because I couldn't face it myself. Um, on my part, I think that's where things started to fall apart. That and this friend is not the world's greatest communicator. I could send 7,000 texts and she'll respond to one of them. And that's just her personality. And at a point, you realize that you grow apart a little bit. But you always hope that that bond is there. Growing up, moving out of college, I eventually married the man of my dreams who's currently sitting in the other room listening to this. And she was one of the bridesmaids at my wedding. Because we had kind of grown apart, I did not place her as a maid of honor. I put another friend in instead. That being said, I did my best to make sure she had her own special part. She wanted to give a speech, so I let her and asked her if she wanted to do one at the rehearsal dinner, and she gladly agreed. I made sure to take her aside before the actual wedding occurred. She and I went to adoration together for about 20 minutes, walked together, prayed together, and we had that special time. And I wanted to tell her, and I'm pretty sure I did, hopefully I did, that I communicated to her that I loved her and that even though we weren't as close or as communicative as we once were, she's still a very important part of my life and I love her and I'll be there for her regardless. This was also the first time I was meeting her boyfriend, soon-to-be husband. He's a really great guy. But I thought things were really good and things were going great. So then I got married and bought a house and started going through stuff, being a youth minister and really taking hold of this first idea of trust in the chaos. This whole idea behind the vlog, the book, whatever, goes back to the Alpha series. If any of you have ever done Alpha, it's essentially I want to say 13-week video series about just general questions about faith. It's generally non-denominational Christian. We used it at our Catholic church as a great foray into just getting spiritually awoken and reacquainted before you get into all the nooks and crannies of catechism. It was a really great series. I went through as one of the test guinea pigs. I ended up being a small group leader when we launched it full parish, and then I ended up running Alpha one night of the 3 sessions we did. So I was very much in that. And the first night that I was running it on my own, I have to give like these 5-minute blurbs, kind of tying everything together about what we're about to see. And I'm talking about what is your purpose in life and all this other stuff and how does God make good out of the mess. And I sit back down after giving the intro, which I had kind of like thrown together at the last minute, and immediately start writing Trust in the Chaos. First thing that came to my head about 2 years ago, and outlined what I'm hoping to eventually be the book within the course of a 20-minute video. And that was not me. That was definitely something that was inspired and something that I'm trying to go forward with. Unfortunately, it's only been like a month, and I'm not having as much success as I hoped, but that's okay, putting it in God's hands. But I remember contacting Mary Kate within like the week of this, being like, so this thing happened, and like, you've always joked that I should write a book or a sitcom, and like, priest or gay guy, I always fell in love with the wrong man joke, ha ha ha. That's a different story for a different day. But I got really excited because I was like, wait, what if I actually am like meant to something bigger? So I tried talking to her about these things and things weren't flowing or she wasn't really communicating as much. And I got really offended, kind of just chalked it up to, well, she's busy, we're growing apart, She just got out of college and she's still living in Florida. And her boyfriend lives down there as well, and she's got a job. So, like, she's probably just crammed. She's probably busy. It's fine, whatever. And I kind of chalked it up to that. Things really hit a boiling point for me personally when she got engaged. And I was super excited for her. He's an incredible guy. They're very sweet together. I've always been team him while she was in charge of her discernment. But I did something that is a horrible idea. Uh, if you look at how the word assume is spelled, when you assume something, you make a donkey out of you and me, if you look at the spelling. And I assumed I'd be a bridesmaid, and that wasn't the case. Um, she was really overwhelmed about a lot of things. I later found out that wedding planning was really crazy, and her fiance had moved from Florida to Chicago without a job, and she was trying to find some stability in her own life, and it was just nuts. Um, so when it came to the time to pick bridesmaids, she decided she didn't want to have too many. She wanted 4, and I assumed that was like, okay, you got family, like that's totally fine. The tricky part is that she had her mom tell my mom to tell me, and that really hurt. And I was really angry for a long time because this friendship that I knew was not as strong as it was, but I thought had those ties that would keep us together, and we'd be there through each other's really exciting events. Like I was planning on having her be godmother of my children. Seemed to die. And I was really upset and really angry about it for a long time. So I eventually called her sister. Her sister is 2 years older than me, actually, and she's always been a good friend as well. So I called her and I said, I don't know who else to turn to. I don't know what I'm doing here. And she said some stuff that's really important to me. And she's like, my sister isn't the super communicative type. She talks to her best friends maybe once every 2 months, and you're lucky if you get that. And that's not what you need. You're that person that thrives off that communication, wants to know what's going on, to be there for each other on a very close level. And that's just not my sister anymore. I mean, it never really has been, but really in the past few years, she's gotten a lot more introverted and needs these things for her sanity. And that sucked to hear, but she was right. So I asked, I was like, so what do I do? Like, I'm really angry. I don't want to go to this wedding. I feel very slighted. What do I do? And she's like, well, do you love my sister? And I'm like, of course, absolutely. I wouldn't be upset if I didn't love her. And she said, then you have to accept it and let it go. So that's what I've been working on, is trying to grieve this loss. And I think this loss is so great to me in terms of a close friendship. Like, we're still friends, but it's not what it was, because you hear all these great women speakers. Sarah Spofford, Jackie Francois have both talked about this, about how you need a lady tribe. You need these virtuous friendships, people who are on the same spiritual road as you to run the race with. And I have some really incredible friends here, and I've got 2 best friends at work who would take a bullet for me. And we can talk about anything. And we have that extremely close, constant group chat type of thing. One of them is one of my co-coaches. She's the one who also has her nails like this. But I can't talk about religion with them. And this is a huge part of my life that I want to run the race with. And I'd like another lady in the perspective, and I don't have one. And I feel as though this grieving of what things were to where they're going is for a purpose. In the Bible, Joshua 1:19, have I not commanded you? Be courageous, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. God puts up crossroads and barriers for reasons that we don't understand most of the time, but he does it for our own good. He says this, Romans 8:28, and we know in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Sometimes the purpose of you and the people you love changes. Sometimes you're running the race together and you veer off and you've got different races to run now. And that sucks. And it's really hard. But you have to grieve what was and accept what is. And trust that God is going to be there and has done this for a reason. some of the positives that have come out of this is that my childhood best friend's older sister and I now are becoming closer. And I'm really trying to reach out in my local community to find women who are my age, who are religious, who I can have that relationship with. Again, it's not that I don't love this best friend anymore. I'll love her till the day I die. We're just at different points and need different things, and that's okay. And God is going to provide what we need and take away things that will only hurt us more. One of the best things that I took away from therapy, and I say pretty much to everyone when there is an internal conflict, whether it's school or personal life, is that you can't control someone else. You can only control your actions. You can't control their actions, but you can control your reactions. And you kind of have to, one, decide, and this is where the therapy comes in, that you need to move on. You need to make that choice. You need to take away the things that are detrimental to focus on things that can be better. And two, this is where the faith comes in. You got to trust in God that this is for a purpose and something better is going to come out of it. Because I'm 26 years old and I almost committed suicide when I was 18. And I'm still here. And I've been blessed with this incredible life of getting to talk about these issues and having an incredible husband and a house and great friends and dropping frozen turkey on the floor. And I know that all the crap was for a better purpose. God had better plans for me. And I'm not saying because God had better plans for me, this person's an awful person and no one should be near them. That's not all. That's not it at all. God wants to put us in the best spot for us to thrive. Insert cliche, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have made for you, says the Lord. That one's probably one that comes up a lot. You gotta trust. And grieving this friendship is really hard. So, I'm wearing a black dress to this wedding. I was always told black should be reserved for funerals and not weddings, but this is kind of a funeral to myself, to God, to what was, and a new beginning of what can be, if I trust in Him and His plan. So for any of you who are going through these really difficult friendships or have lost a friendship and are trying to make sense of it, I feel your pain. But you can do it. You just got to remember to, one, control your own actions because you can't control anyone else. And two, trust that this is for your own betterment because God's got a better plan than we know. From Trust in the Chaos, I'm Therese Hartz. Follow my Instagram at Trust in the Chaos. See you later.